Good evening, traders. Welcome to tonight's video. I think it's been, almost 3 months since I last did a Forex day review. Yeah, a lot happened. A new baby arrived, as you all might have known. Life got busy, but I'm trying to get back into the habit of recording at least 3 times a week a day review. I'm going to do things a little bit different this time. I'm going to start off by showing a forecast that I did in the morning that I shared with the community, and then see how that played out. It's either going to be GU and or EU. So my idea was bullish and then bearish, but it turned out to be just bullish. I'm going to show you exactly what I was thinking. So starting off on the daily, looking at the sell side liquidity below these 2 wicks. I took this one just because it's more recent and I kind of just wanted to have a low hanging target, but I also had this imbalance marked, anticipating that price could fill this imbalance before continuation further towards the downside. Looking at the 1 hour, we did see price react from the previous daily low, so we can look for longs if structure on the lower time frame confirms it. So we know that if we see price sweeping previous daily low, which is also a previous weekly low, we could anticipate a move towards the upside, and we had the session high, Asian high, towards the upside as our liquidity objective. Then looking at 50-minute time frame, we did see the sweep of the low, so the anticipation was for me to see price trade towards the upside, sweeping or trading above the previous Asian high, potentially giving a reaction. And initially I thought, okay, maybe we would see the price continue its momentum towards the downside, seeing that on the daily I'm looking for sells, but open for price to do whatever. So let's have a look quickly at GU then. So we did manage, so if we just put some of these things up, we did manage to see price, as we saw price trade below the previous daily low. On the 1 minute or the lower time frames, initially I didn't see any clear structure indicating price. So this was a little bit suspect, but I think the best entry could have been, or would have been, this one right over there. So we broke structure, see that structure break right over there, see that structure break, we see price come down into this block, and then the expansion going higher, and then the liquidity objective then was the Asian high, which was over here. And this is then where most of us in the community then took a short after we've swept above the previous Asian high. That's one of our favorite setups, is seeing price trade above the previous Asian high or low, giving a structure shift on lower time frames, entry pattern, and then taking a short. So I'm going to quickly show you what that looked like. So we traded above the Asian high. There we have it. We can then see price first of all made a failure swing, or we failed to make a higher high. We then followed with a structure break towards the downside, and then we created this little sell block right over there. We had a little bit of imbalance there as well, so this then became a valid entry. And most recent sell side liquidity is then the rules. We have sell side liquidity resting below that low, which would then give us a 1 to 5 risk to reward, which was a clean trade. And it's important to have set risk rewards, in my opinion. 3 to 5 are, even 2 are, because you never know what's going to happen. In this case, we traded all the way back towards the upside, and the continuation after we swept the previous daily low is kept in motion, and we see price trading towards the upside. So that was kind of the play for London session, and then the rest of the day just saw continuation further towards the upside. A lot of accumulation happening in here, and then just blasted further towards the upside, trading all the way up to the previous daily high. And that is one of my favorite days, is when we sweep the one side of the spectrum, sweeping a previous daily low, and then reaching back all the way up towards the previous daily high on the opposite side, as we did right over here. And that then was a beautiful day. We even traded below the New York Open, so that the whole power of 3 that ICT teaches, beautiful in motion, see it sweep the sell side liquidity, beautiful judo swing towards the downside, and then further nice continuation towards the upside. Really nice expansion going up higher. And then if we just look at euro dollar, more or less the same thing happening. I'm not going to dive too much into this, but what we can see, there was a beautiful long setup that we caught, or that I took right over here. So same thing applied. We swept the previous daily low, and you kind of get a sense of the importance of how beautiful price trades off of that previous daily highs and low, especially if we've been in a down closing 3 or 4 down closing days like we had on the daily time frame. Usually then after the 3rd or 4th day we could expect a up closing day going up higher. So again, price traded below. Let's just quickly see if we did manage to have a solid 1 minute entry. Let's see. Okay, so on the 1 minute we had more or less something similar. So there we broke above the high right over there, and then looking at this zone is probably the area that I would have paid most attention to. We just wicked it, just nicked it, and then started trading towards the upside. But this wick and this one both just traded down into this imbalance that we can see right over there. See it trade into that imbalance and then reaction going up higher. And then we can see, well, we have clear sell side liquidity objectives in the form of this high and that high. If we just mark that quickly out, that was then the drawn liquidity that price was reaching for and ultimately reached for it. I did share in the community that I was looking initially, wanting to see price just come down again to this area and then take a long from here. That was originally my idea for the morning session, but price didn't come back. I think it might have, I'm not sure if it did. No, it didn't come back into that area, which was unfortunate, but we did manage to find a trade setup later the day. Go on to the 3 minutes. You can see where the 3 minute reacted off of this little zone, stayed in it, came back to it, and then exploded towards the upside. So there were some really nice opportunities right over there. Come back down into it, respecting that previous high, respecting it, and then we see the expansion during the New York session towards the upside. Then I did post this trade on my Instagram stories just now, just a quick scalp, basically seeing the price created a high now, which could be now the previous daily high. We did manage to retrace back into the range, and then I'm looking for a mitigation, looking for price to mitigate something to the left and then give a reaction. And I think the 5 minute time frame is what I based it off of. So looking at the mitigations, we can see price mitigates and then mitigates again. So in this area is then where I could potentially expect price to react off of and give me a tradable opportunity towards the upside. Where those two overlap is a really good place to look for longs. So that was the entry, stop loss just below the wick and just targeting 3R. And that is it. So that was today. I do think it was a relatively clean day in terms of price action. Nice expansion day, nice retracement trades, nice continuation trades. You can see the difference. EU didn't really give a clean retracement trade of retracement after it swept the buy side liquidity of Asian high. Just kind of gave a consolidation, whereas GU gave a really clean move towards the downside with a valid entry pattern to make use of for the New York session. If you missed this long, taking the short, and then GU again didn't, for me, give a clear long opportunity for New York session. So I think it's kind of important to, if you trade, if you want to have multiple opportunities, to focus on two pairs, get to know two pairs very well, and then kind of base your trades off of those two pairs, finding the best opportunity. So that's it from today. Tomorrow morning I do another forecast for the community, and then we see what happens. Guys, I hope you all have a wonderful day, Please like and comment, make sure to subscribe, and leave down in the comments your trades that you've taken. If you've taken any longs or shorts today, let me know, guys. Hope you all have a wonderful evening. Goodbye.